man, nobody should ever hurt you. You know that there is fire coming, you know. And then that one cracks, and then the second one starts, and then it cracks, and then you see, depending on how we roll, we must be careful so that we are not training ourselves to be experts at divorce. You see, because when we date and break and date and break, and we become used to a girl comes to the point where she says, you can never break my heart anymore. There's no heart to be broken. And then one day you are inside the marriage, and then the man is beginning to make. You see, I was talking about ladies are like perfumes. When you spray a little, spray in a year you spray it 6 times. By the time 3-4 years pass and you now become, women give love. But if there's not much left in the spray can to give, the man leaves his shoes at one corner. You say, what the nonsense is this? But you see, if you were still full up, are you with me? You would pick the shoes and say, this is my husband. Are you put in the right place? But see, if you are sprayed a little, then there's nothing much left. So we must be careful, right, to just how we break and enter. If not, we train ourselves in the art of breakage. And it becomes a problem where we really need it. Now, men also have got to be extremely, extremely careful. A man is built, just like Alibaba was saying, a man is built to work. God created the man and said, go and work. God didn't create the woman and say, go and work. God created the woman and said, go and help him. She's created for relationship. He's created for work. Doesn't make her dependent. No, it just means that the level show me the most frustrated woman is a woman who doesn't have value and significance in her relationship. Show me a frustrated man. He's the one who doesn't have work. He's been looking for employment, but not able to create employment. If you want to understand how a woman feels when you starve her value and significance in a relationship, think about yourself if you don't have work. And so be careful. Don't just enter a woman's life and raise her hopes and dash it and move away. And enter and raise her hopes and dash it and move. That's the most important part of their lives. You don't toy with it. You must be serious. You must know what you want. You make sure you're ready to commit. The lady said just now that the men, they don't even want to visit. They just want to do WhatsApp to establish relationship. What kind of nonsense is that? WhatsApp, this is what her life is about and revolves around. So you must be careful.
It seems like the conversation is a bit one-sided. Like we're talking men and bashing the men. I think also we need to talk about the ladies, because the truth also is that this thing is serious business. The truth is, you say you want a 10/10 guy. Well, what score are you? What are you really bringing to the table as a lady? A guy wants someone that will add value to his life. So the truth is, even for us ladies too, a lot of us are, let's be real, we're very materialistic. And you are looking for the ready-made guy. When I met my husband, what car was he driving? Do you understand? It's not about, do you see a potential? Do you key into that vision? Do you want him to be better than he is now? Do you see potential? Do you love him? Will you be there when things are not going right? Because they will not always go right. So let's speak to ourselves. If we're being real, let's also speak to the ladies. Everybody's looking for is not this, is not that. What are you? And what are you bringing to the table? Does he see you as someone that can be the mother of his children? Will you pass on the right examples to his children? Will you take care of his family? How do you behave to your own family? And then you're saying he wants to take you home to mama. He's scared when he sees the way you talk to your sisters. So let's be real.
Madam, I just had this regarding us knowing that a guy wants a lot more, even a lady. When we say let's date, the biggest problem a lot of people have is that as soon as you say let's date, we're getting married. When I say let's date, it's considered courtship. It's considered a time that we'll get to know ourselves so that we can now take it a step ahead. A friend of mine was asking a girl out, and the girl finally said yes. They were driving from VGC, and he said, let's stop over at some Chevron place, and I have this friend that is very ill and has not worked for a while. Let me drop something off for him. And they went, and he dropped 200,000. And they got to Lekki, and she said, if I'm the one that asked you for money now, you will say you don't have. Now you just went and gave money to somebody because the person was ill and had not been. And immediately, the guy's heart sank. And so he didn't immediately respond. That day passed. Then 3 weeks later, she calls him and says, my younger brother wants to write GCE and needs form. I think they say it's 37 naira or something. 37,000 or so. And he said, how much?
No, she wanna thank you now,
Anyway,
Baba.
and the money about that's and he was like, okay, no problem, and then gave her 50K, and she went, and the story continued. And later he decided that he had started seeing the elements, not even to him. A friend of hers asked and said, I'm going for so and so party. There was this Ashwebi you used one time. I don't want to buy, but it's the same thing that they're doing. Can I use it? She said no. And so he immediately knew that as fine as this girl was, she was not a giving person. And he was a giving person. And the problem they would have later is if his sister comes and he gives her car, or a friend comes and he gives her, it will become a problem. And so he broke the relationship up. She went to tell everybody. After 1 year, he used me and dumped me like a rag. And so we, the guys, were trying to sort the issue out. And oh yeah, now, how now? What happened? They said, I don't know. I'm sure he has met somebody and he now wants to just drop me and he's looking for excuses. And they asked the guy said, what? I don't talk. Because he said if he counts a lot of things, it will be like, so you knew from all that time. But he said, I thought she would change. But she did not. So what happens with a lot of us, which is why it becomes, oh, he broke my heart, is that once, even for some ladies will say, okay, I'll date you. But as the relationship starts going and she finds out that you smoke hemp, or you abuse your elders, or you do some kind of shady deals, the lady will begin to think, this is not what I want to get into. Yeah. Or maybe one day you go see your mom, and your mom now says, Kule, when are you going to come to this? And she's like, okay, if he talks to his mom like this, then he will beat me. And so it begins to detail how the relationship will go. And so if he pulls out, it's like an LPO. You get an LPO, you have not supplied anything, and you are asking for receipt.
Thank you so much. Yeah. There are many other things that probably somebody will say you don't have their time for. So I would say that, why don't you meet him? Why let him come and meet you in church? I'm not being,
You're being serious.
I'm not.
Like, what if you're in the choir and you really have to be in church?
Yes, do you understand? You have to be there Monday. Let him come there now. Do you understand? Let him come. Or what if you have to work? What if it is work and it's not church? You come. You may have to work Monday, Tuesday late, maybe 11 p.m., all those kind of things. Sometimes things, maybe because my life is a bit like that, in the sense that 11 and it's late. I don't know how to explain it.